somehow I managed to get back on the show. I don't know how I could follow up last episode, but I made it.
He's off IR. Welcome back.
I've survived. I'm okay.
You have like a glow right now.
It's radiant depression glow.
Where's mine?
It's it's Death Threats by Calvin Klein.
Threats by death threats by.
Yes. For those unaware, I have been receiving a handful of death threats and threats of that nature over the last few weeks.
And they were all from me.
And they were all from Maddie and probably Zadina with like his 20 burners. Anyway.
Oh my god.
So I've taken a break from Twitter. I don't know if I'll ever be back, honestly.
You'll be back.
Yeah, probably. That's the thing, is I'm like the Godfather, where I'm like, just when I thought I was out,
God,
pull me back in.
How many days has it been?
Like 7. Maybe more.
Just when I thought I was out.
Like, listen, to me, this is a huge step.
No,
usually I only take a couple days break, but like this time around, it's been different. I've always had that implication of like, oh, I'll be back, but this time I feel good about it. And for some reason, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like being off Twitter is good for your mental health.
I know, isn't that wild? I feel the same way. Like I'll go and delete my socials, delete Twitter, whatever. And like one thing that draws me back is there's no, like, I don't get my information as quickly as I do when I'm on Twitter. That's what
exactly
always brings me back. Exactly. Yeah. That's what always ropes me back in, is because I don't get those, like, that quick, maybe too quick of information and like lore.
I don't want to be on Helene St. James's time, you know?
Right.
It's going to take her a minute to tell me that, like, oh, Jacob Verana's on waivers or whoever. Mm-hmm. When I could immediately know it from Elliot Friedman or that guy who has the Elliot Friedman parody account.
Friedman adjacent.
So basically my plan right now is to just rely on Maddie to give me that information.
Oh my God.
So this could go one of two ways. She could be giving me accurate information, or she could be juicing the numbers. She could just make shit up like Tyler Bertuzzi just got traded. And I would have to believe her. I'd have to.
How would you even verify?
What am I going to do? Wait a half hour to verify the truth?
I did text Jake earlier in the week. I'm like, by the end of the week, Bertuzzi's getting dealt. I had this like suspicion. I don't know. And then he's injured again. Mm-hmm. Like, dude can't even.
He can play for that entire third period in Vegas.
Yeah, I know. I did fall asleep in the third period last night.
I stayed up to recap the game, and
that's cute.
Yeah, I was doing it for Winging It in Motown, which is actually going to bring us a funny story. So Vox Media you might know them from Vox, you might know them from Winging It in Motown or any of their other companies.
I did not, before you texted me this morning, I didn't know Winging It in Motown was part of Vox.
Yeah, so Vox cut a huge chunk of their employee base, including the entire hockey department. That is where I've been writing for the last, I don't know, year and a half, maybe 2 years. And so I'm not writing in any publications right now. Your boy is unemployed.
Shut up.
From a hockey writing standpoint. From a bill paying standpoint, I'm still in good standing. But like, I don't have a place to write articles anymore.
You think that like the Wingin' people can they like start a new thing?
So they're getting like demonetized.
Right.
So nobody would be getting paid if they work on it. And I think it might be breaking off from Vox and they might be their own thing. We don't exactly know the details yet, but if they did go like fully independent, I'd maybe stick along as long as I was getting like a big chunk of the pie when they do start making money.
Who runs it? But not Vox, but like
No, there's a guy who runs it. He's ran it for the past like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years.
What's his name?
On Twitter, his name is JJ from Kansas. And he's the dude who he runs the Whim like social media. So he's the guy who always posts those like really funny puns.
That's not you?
No, that's not me. If they were funny, though, it was me.
Right.
But
no, if they were funny, it was me.
Now I'm down to just 4 side projects as opposed to...
Okay.
So without that small occupation of my time, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. We should start a cult. I think that'd be a good idea.
Oh.
We got a following base here, so if you're listening,
I be the leader?
You will be the figurehead. I will be behind the scenes, like running things. We'll use you as like
I don't know.
I'll write your speeches. You come out, you say
Why?
shit.
I don't want you to write my speeches. Are you kidding me?
Well, somebody's got to do something. We got to we got to give you that like cult of personality.
You can be my pal.
Yeah,
you can be we can
pal.
That doesn't sound appeasing. You be my pal.
We should start a cult together. I'll be the leader, and you can be my friend.
Exactly. What's the problem?
I don't see anything wrong with this.
I don't see anything wrong with it. Would you rather me be the leader or you be the leader? Let's be honest.
The thing is, I feel like if I did become a cult leader, it would go to my head.
Your head so fast.
Almost immediately, probly.
It probably you're probably bricked up just thinking about it.
Honestly, the thought of it is definitely...
Me, on the other hand...
You would be... No, your cult...
What?
Like every morning, you'd meet up with everybody, and they'd come up, and you'd go, "Hey, thanks for coming, everybody. I noticed you guys were a little late this time. You're not like mad at me or anything, are you?"
Oh my God! Stop.
Be honest if you were upset, right? You go, please write down this document and sign this binding contract to prove that you're not mad at me.
Yeah. No, I'd hook everyone up to a lie detector test.
This is like a youngest sibling.
Are you mad at me? I'm not even the youngest. Lie detector test. And if it comes back that they lied, they just get executed.
If you had to swear into office, like put your hand on something, what would you swear on?
Do you know Katz's Deli in New York?
Yeah.
Their menu.
That's a pretty goated choice.
Thank you.
I would swear on a
what would you swear
map
on?
of Downriver.
You suck.
No, I would swear on like the directory of Lakeside Mall. No, actually, that first episode of The Last of Us was pretty good. So I
haven't watched it yet. I only watched the first episode.
The first episode's the only one that's out.
What?
Until Sunday.
Oh, that's it?
For now. They come out every week.
Oh. I thought I was like way behind.
No, there's only one that came out, but it was PP hard.
PP hard. Speaking of PP hard, let's do our Detroit sports update. Well, since we last spoke,
I don't really have much.
I know the Lions. The Ben Johnson thing, though. Ben Johnson.
Which one's?
We didn't write it in the notes.
Yeah, the OC.
What do you?
The guy who was getting interviewed by like a million people, right?
Yeah, you didn't know who he is?
Listen, I know who he is, and I know there's a certain...
You're just like not excited about it, so you're kind of just harshing my vibe.
There's a certain narrative going around right now.
Oh my God, just let me enjoy one thing!
It's a good narrative.
Oh, what?
This is not SOL. These are brand new Lions.
These are brand new Lions, and you know what, Jake? For the first time in ever, I have actually heard that out. It's not the same old Lions, but I have been very much so sell the team. Owners are garbage, trash.
Mm-hmm.
But, they ended up paying Ben Johnson, and he stayed. And 3 of the players also said they would take a pay cut just to stay. So
that's a culture. That's culture right there. It's. I feel like Detroit is becoming a destination for players now.
That's right. It's gonna, especially the Lions. Right. So next year, and I will bet you anything. So think of a funny bet, but I will bet you that the Lions win the division next year and go to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are frauds, and I think the playoffs.
Vikings are huge frauds, and the game against the Giants showed it. Fuck the Vikings. And
Kirk Cousins, I sentence you to mid.
Kirk Cousins can fuck off. Sorry, I don't know. I'm not even mad. Like there's just like my natural response. I'm not mad.
It's because he was a Sparty.
No, yeah, it is because he was a Sparty.
That I don't know if there's anything to do with the Tigers. The Pistons are. I like Killian Hayes. He's been really good.
The Pistons played last night.
You went and saw them last week, didn't you?
I did.
How was that?
I think. Oh well, you didn't listen to our last episode. I already talked about it.
Okay, never mind.
I'm not telling you. You have to listen to the last episode. Sorry, you're getting punished.
Do you remember the time you took your dad to a Pistons game?
No, don't. Yes, I do remember that time. That time it happened, but also the Pistons played yesterday in Paris and they lost the Bulls. But like the vibes were there.
The vibes are there. That's all that really counts this season. This is a season of vibes.
Ugh, not good ones.
Cade, that's all you have to rely on.
Cade, my man. Ugh, go ahead and Being a Pistons fan is so fun. Like if you don't care about winning. If you're
Mm-hmm.
just there to vibe, lots of fun.
I like Bojan Bogdanovic. He's pretty cool.
Oh, you missed it last episode, but he's Big Hog Bog.
Big Hog Bog. I like
No,
that.
Hog Bog.
Hog Bog. That makes sense. That's beautiful. I like that.
Because we lost TJ Hawkinson, Big Hog Hog.
Yeah, whatever. He's been trash since he left.
No, but we just needed another big penis athlete in Detroit.
Say it. Every time the Lions trade a tight end, they fade into irrelevancy. Eric Ebron.
Oh, I forgot. Eric Ebron. Wasn't he good for like a little bit?
He was for a little bit, and then he left and immediately played like shit. We did a commercial with him at Meyer. It was weird. I was like, oh, why is everybody so like up in arms? Everybody was like so excited, like Eric Ebron's gonna be here. Eric Ebron's gonna be here, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, great.
Well, I cared about him when he was on the team.
It's like, can you imagine, hanging out with like at somewhere in Detroit, and somebody's like, Joik Bell is here, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right.
That would have been me.
Oh my God, is that Justin Abdelkader? Like, oh, yeah, cool.
Who lives in Switzerland?
He does?
Yeah, he plays in the Swiss league.
Oh, does he know Swiss German?
Probably not. I'd bet not.
He's kind of an American hero, honestly. I do like Justin Abdelkader. I think
he's a Lafayette guy.
I think he people just soured on him because of that contract, but he can't help it. I mean, you put a contract of that size and girth in front of me, of course I'm going to sign it. I don't even care if I'm like a mid player. I'm taking that money and I'm running. How are you going to use
girth in the context of a contract?
It's a girthy salary.
Girthy salary.
You look at that thing. It's a
Who talks like that? It's a girthy salary.
We have girth in this podcast.
We do have some nice girth. Speaking of girth.
Yes, we should address the controversy that happened this last week. Which
one? There's so many.
Well, there's a certain player that didn't want to wear a certain jersey. And I think we were all pretty upset with it. And I mean, who can blame them? I could not believe Jordan Osterley wouldn't wear the Downriver Pride jersey. What is his problem? It's just a sleeveless jean vest.
He's a Dearborn boy, isn't he?
He is.
Ugh. I don't care for him to be on the Red Wings, but as a person, girthy.
He's got girth?
He's got girth.
He's got emotional
personality.
I think it is offensive and horrible that he chose not to wear that jersey.
I agree.
And that he and the whole hockey community should be ashamed. It's just downriver, guys. It's like, it's a tribal tattoo. It's a mullet. It's a jean vest, a denim vest.
It's a lifted Chevy Silverado.
It's a Kid Rock album.
Oh.
It's a Gibraltar Trade Center. Rest in peace.
Damn.
I miss Gibraltar Trade Center though. That was like a cultural hub.
I haven't been there.
Oh my God. Let me tell you about it. It's a wonderful place.
Okay, let's hear it. Is it like Waterloo City?
Think of like a Renaissance medieval era marketplace where you could walk through and there are tents and stands set up and you could buy any manner of goods. You want to buy pocket knives? You could do that. There's a guy over there selling rifles if you want one. Oh, you just want clothing? Sure, there's a guy there for that too. It's all set up over this gigantic warehouse. And outside is a massive statue of like a sign of a dude with like a whatever you call it, bowler hat. Yeah. He's like this old dude from the 1920s. It was a cultural landmark.
It sounds like something in South Florida called the Swap Shop.
It's like the Swap Shop. It's like one gigantic pawn shop.
Yeah, but swap shop.
Yeah, and you could go there.
That's the worst and best place ever.
It's horrible, but it was also beautiful. You could haggle with the merchants. There? I almost bought a katana when I was in high school.
What did you purchase?
A pocket knife. Of course, you have to. It is a rite of passage in Metro Detroit to buy a pocket knife from a merchant.
Well, now I feel like I have a mission.
Yeah, unfortunately it's closed. It's been closed for a long time.
Do you think there's another place I could buy a pocket knife, or is that it?
I think we could find somewhere.
There are other places which sell pocket knives.
I bet you Lakeside Mall has something.
Yeah, but like not in a normal store, like outside Lakeside Mall.
Like some dudes.
Like in someone's van. Yeah.
You could probably do that. I bet you we could find something. I wish
could you get me a pink
in here so we could ask them.
Pink bedazzled pocket knife. With Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty. If you find me a Hello Kitty pocket knife, I'd be really happy.
Listeners, if you can find us a Hello Kitty pocket knife, we will send you something Red Wings related. Tweet at us at 313hockey or email us at 313hockeypod@gmail.com. Let us know if you can find it, and you will be handsomely rewarded.
Handsomely?
You will receive a girthy reward.
Yeah, question. Is a handsome reward gendered?
I would say no, because I think Eleanor Roosevelt is handsome.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Eleanor Roosevelt.
I think there are pretty boys and handsome girls, and people all in between, you know?
Let me think of a handsome woman. Brienne of Tarth.
Yes, Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones. Perfect example. Not, what's his name? Oscar Sundquist, handsome woman.
What?
No, not really. No, it'd be more like Nicholas Cronwall is a handsome woman.
All right.
And I wish there was a video for this, because Maddie just stared out into the distance, her eyes glazing over.
Because I was thinking really hard about it. It's really... Man, Nicholas Cronwall.
I was trying to think of like a Swedish player that has long hair. Maybe the Sedin. No, the Sedin twins
they
aren't
had short
attractive.
hair.
Yeah.
It's Pia Suter.
Pia Suter, that's a great example. Pia Suter is the most handsome woman on the roster. Speaking of people on the roster, I have a question.
What?
And I have been so excited to ask you.
What?
Who do you think is the stinkiest player on the roster? Like, who do you think smells really bad?
I don't think any of them smell really bad.
Or they could smell like they have a very distinct scent. Like, I think Zadina wears too much cologne. That's what I feel when I look at him.
It was either him or Kubelik when I met them. One of them had a ton of cologne on.
Yeah, I figured it'd be one of the two. I said Zadina, not because we beef with him sometimes here, but because he slicks back his hair all the time. He's kind of got that like
Zadina.
He's got that like Proud Boy haircut, and so I always kind of.
All right, hear me out. So,
I like that you glazed over the Proud Boy.
I think that Tyler Bertuzzi doesn't wash his junk. I think he also doesn't wash his butthole. He's like, you know what? The shower water is going to hit it. He's one of those guys.
Have you ever met a guy who doesn't wash his ass?
Most men don't wash their ass.
That, to me, is the most horrifying statistic.
I know.
If you are a man of girth, if you are a man of 3-on-3 hockey, you wash your ass. With soap. With soap.
Yeah. I think also maybe Berggren a little bit.
Yeah. He kind of gives me like that young teenager, and then he learns, and he's like, oh, I have to fold my sheets like this.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he knows.
Yeah, I don't know if we have a lot of like stinky players on the roster.
No one is stinky. Who would you have said?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know. Magnus Hellberg, maybe?
Nah.
Those Swedes
are very man.
Yeah, those Swedes are very clean.
Those Swedes. Berggren, though. I said Berggren.
Yeah, but he's young, you know. He's a young boy. I'm trying to go through the roster in my mind. I would have said Robbie Fabry, but it's because he like can't, you know, reach certain areas because of the whole ACL thing. But I mean, he can move now.
Wait, what?
Area? Robert Hagg.
Maybe. What area would he not be able to reach because of an ACL injury?
I don't know. I've never injured my ACL, so I actually don't know what you can and can't do. Have you?
I've had a knee injury, but not an ACL injury.
I was just about to ask if you've ever had a sports injury before.
Oh, I've had a lot of injuries. I'm like...
the weirdest injury you've ever gotten?
Weirdest?
Or like the one that you just didn't expect, you know?
Oh. I fucked up my knees a few times. Once, I slipped on the slippery floor in Greece, and I landed directly on my kneecap, and it was earth-shattering pain. They called a doctor who came in like he looks like a cartoon doctor who pulls up with like a big briefcase and like a stethoscope. Yeah, the fucking light on his head. I thought I was being punked.
He was bombed with a mustache.
Yeah, he didn't speak that much English, but he's like, yeah, you should go to the hospital. I was like, okay, bet. They called the hospital. I was in Grace for work. They called the hospital. Ambulance comes. They don't speak English. They're like, all right. So I get in this fucking ambulance, and my knee, I don't know. I can't walk. I'm crying. I don't know what the fuck they're saying to me. I end up at the hospital. They're like, this is the best for like your like X-ray or whatever. I was like, okay. I'm there in like the waiting room and like triage and all of that in like a US hospital. or even a German hospital. All of that was in one room in this Greek hospital. So it's like a hall with like sick people and everyone's just laying around. So I'm there. Nobody can communicate with me. My knee's fucked up. And some dude, a doctor, comes around with a needle. He's about to inject it in me. I'm like, bro, like, what even is this medicine? I was like, no, do not inject, sir. And then he's like, oh, wrong person. It's like, okay, bet.
You could have gotten God's greatest painkillers. You could have been.
Wish. I fucking wish. Anyway, all of that just because I had a little slippy slip on the floor.
So what did you wind up having?
I ended up like shattering part of my kneecap, and work flew me back to Germany the next day. But
how much did that cost you, like out of pocket?
$0.
Like that doctor showing up alone would have been like $2,000 here.
I think initially, like, my company paid for that doctor visit to go to the hotel, maybe like $200. But I didn't pay anything.
What the? I'm irritated by that. One time when I was a kid, I went to Catholic school for elementary school, and we were going up for our communion, and it was a really hot day. I was probably in like 3rd grade, and I remembered seeing like a bunch of little dots in the air, and I was like, oh, it's just really dusty in here. Oh, it's so dusty. And I closed my eyes, and when I opened them again, I was beside the altar, surrounded by lunch moms and parents and concerned people.
And Jesus Christ. And then he came back.
The priest was up on like the altar, like looking down at me with like the most concerned, horrified face. And I was like walked out of the place. Apparently I had passed out and hit my head on the altar. I actually have a scar like on my ear up here from it.
That is so punk of you.
It's pretty dope, right? I missed school for the rest of the day, and I wanted to miss school the next day, but they said I was fine. I overheated and passed out, but
wow,
I think that explains a lot. I was actually like a really smart kid. I was a gifted kid.
A girthy one?
And then I got a girth. I had a girthy brain.
Uh-huh.
And then I got lazy afterwards, and I think that I'm honestly going to blame it all on that head injury.
Okay.
If it wasn't for that, I probably could have been in, I don't know, NASA or something.
Imagine if I did not have 4 concussions.
Dude, you would have been Jimmy Howard too.
Bro, I don't want to be Jimmy Howard, no offense.
I'll love to. Okay, who's your favorite goalie?
Hasek.
Oh, okay, cool.
What?
Yeah. Wayne Gretzky's my favorite hockey player.
Damn, you got my ass. That was good.
Why did you pick a random ass goalie like Jonathan Bernier?
Cujo.
Okay, Cujo's pretty cool. Cujo's like metal. Like if you want to talk about like a metal ass goalie, or Terry Sawchuk with his like
Terry Sawchuk. I've been thinking about getting a Terry Sawchuk tattoo.
That'd be pretty dope.
I don't know what, but
I don't know what you get either. I think your tattoos are pretty unique. Like,
thanks, dude.
And that they're all over the place. There are a lot of Detroit-based stuff, but I think that's still pretty dope.
They're unique and they're all over the place. What does that mean?
Like you got the Matisse, you've got the Wings logo.
Oh, you mean like? Oh, okay, yeah.
You've got you fighting someone. Like, there's all sorts of stuff. Maddie, have you ever been in a fight?
Yeah, twice.
Okay, tell us about a fight.
Oh no! Wait, have I? I feel like I've told you this before.
You're baiting one of them. You could tell the other one if you want, but you told one of them. I guess we should talk about hockey too. Yeah, we should probably get
one of them was a hockey fight.
Oh yes, bring it on, bring it on.
Okay, I play. Then we can talk about the.
Yeah. Sorry for everybody who wanted to hear us talk about hockey.
I feel like the people who listen to us just are here for the vibes anyway. Like, nobody's listening to us like expecting some new information they haven't gotten before. They're just here.
We make it fun. We make it fun.
Nobody's here like, I wonder what's going on with Larkin's contract. Well, maybe.
I guess we could talk about that, but like, what are we going to say that hasn't already been said? Oh, there's been sizable differences in what.
Are you worried? I actually am worried.
It could be one thing. It could be that they want to sign a contract, or it could be that he wants to do something else.
Did you consider this other thing?
Curious. Dear liberals.
Anyway.
You say this and yet you don't want to pay him. Curious. Right, go ahead.
It is curious. Yeah, I used to play hockey with boys, so like very much.
You're like a mid 2000s like. Well, those movies where it's like, oh, she's a girl when she takes off her helmet.
Exactly. Except they knew because like the dudes, have you ever played team sports?
Not really. I wasn't athletic.
All right. Well, like they all go into the locker room and, you know, whatever guys do in there, like touch each other's dicks and like swing them around.
It's true. That's why I
I
didn't do
wasn't
it.
invited.
Actually.
I wasn't invited. I don't know. Like, I guess it makes sense now looking back at it. You know, I was like 12 and a bunch of little dudes. They
You know
were
what
my
an
teammates. What?
Do you know what an elephant? What do they call it? Like an elephant trail or something
What
is?
the fuck is that? I don't want to know. No, I'm not exploring this right now. I'm moving on with my story. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, they all got to do cool shit together, but I was a girl and like, you know, I got teased, whatever. And I basically had like a storage closet to use to like change. And like, I don't know, we were like getting ready for practice and like one of the kids was being mean because he was a little kid. And he's like, "You're a girl. Like you shouldn't even play with us. This is for boys." You know how
Be
kids
better.
are.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Fuck you." It's like a 12-year-old. I don't actually know what I said, but I might have said "fuck you." And then we got onto the ice and he was still just being a little fucking shit. It's like, "All right, dude, just drop the gloves and I'll show you what it's like to be a girl." And that's also kind of like what my tattoo is inspired by, is that story. And then I just like beat the shit out of him.
They humiliated that poor kid.
I did, and everybody on the team cheered me on.
Oh, that's good. It's like the end. Like I said, it's the end of a mid-2000s movie.
I'm Mulan.
You Mulan your way into this hockey team, and then you beat up the boy who was being sexist, and then the whole team cheered.
Yeah, actually, that kind of, you're not wrong. I never thought about it like that.
I feel like we could write mid-2000s movies, like,
but
you gotta be like, I know.
I gave him a girthy black eye too.
You could have been like the tough girl on the streets who like, you know, kept getting herself into trouble, and then she gets caught by the police, and they're like, "Look, you gotta join an extracurricular program, or you're gonna be dropped out of school." And you're like, "Okay, fine, I'll do hockey." And then you get out, and they're like, "You're not a girl. You're a girl. We don't respect you." And it turns out you're really good. And they're like,
and then there's
a
love interest. There's also the team captain is my love interest, and I always had a crush on him. And I never talked to him, and he never knew who I was. But now we play together, and he's like, "Hey, you're pretty cool."
Yeah, he's like, "You're all right.
You're all right, Maddie." And then at the end, we win the championship, and then he asked me on a date, and then we go and
You kiss on the middle of the ice.
No, we share a milkshake with one straw.
All right.
No, 2 straws.
You have 2 straws, but you keep leaning in when you do it.
Yeah.
Look at we end it with like a Lindsay Lohan song. You know, just really close it out.
Have you seen Lizzie McGuire when she goes to Italy?
No.
What?
Sorry, I didn't grow up a girl in the mid-2000s.
I had sisters.
Yeah, but they weren't old enough for Lizzie McGuire. They were into like Hannah Montana and shit.
They're younger than you?
Yeah, they're 4 and 6 years younger than me.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
You old fuck. All right. Speaking of old fucks, let's talk
about...
The
Wings made a trade.
Barely.
Hey, used to live in Grand Rapids, and I used to see Kyle Criscuolo play a lot. He was cool. He was really nice.
He was fine.
Big pillar of the community. You know, he wasn't like... He knew he wasn't going to be like a, you know, superstar in the NHL, but he knew that Grand Rapids, like the community of Grand Rapids loved him, and like that meant the world to him.
That's cute.
He probably could have been the next captain once
of the Griffins.
Yeah, but then he wound up getting traded for this guy who is named Jasper Weathersby, I think. I don't know. I talked to our fine friends at are the Sharks from the San Jose Sharks, and they love us, and we love them. And they said that he's pretty good. He's all right. You know, he was a big community pillar guy too. So he's one of those Grand Rapids culture hires, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. He'll be fine.
It's like there's just too much other shit going on right now for me to care or like give energy into that. It's so not on my radar. But I mean, for the Griffins' sake, I hope it ends up being good.
Yeah, the Griffins have been kind of like mid this year. They have a really good roster.
Like worse than mid, right?
Yeah, they have a really, really good roster. Like probably one of the best rosters in the AHL. But their coach was a Jeff Blashill hire and plays the Jeff Blashill system. And I think it's really messing with a lot of those players' developments. Like And they've scratched Verana like, what, 3-4 times now? That's kind of... When you have a guy like Verana on that roster, you would want to play him, right?
Right.
Unless there's something we don't know.
All right. I don't even want to fucking...
No, I'm not going to speculate. There's too much going on with Verana. And Ned.
But one cool thing I saw, just speaking of Verana, like, he seems like, you said something about he was playing soccer and smiling, and I was like, well, it doesn't mean anything. But, like, I also saw videos of him, like, taking videos with fans, like, being sweet, and I don't know. You don't have to do all that. So,
yeah.
That's
no, I really like that he goes out of his way like that.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like some hockey players get to the point where they're like, I'm famous and I'm a good athlete, and who gives a shit?
Oh,
I'm a star now.
Most of them, yeah.
Which is, that sucks. Like, these people are coming out to support you.
I know.
Whatever. I'd be different if I was a hockey player.
Yeah, what would you do?
I would be like NBA player level of outspoken. I mean, I would be like arrogant. I'd be cocky. I would get myself
how you are now.
Yeah, maybe worse, actually. I feel like I'd be probably like more worse. Outspoken. Like, I'd go on and be like, Nathan McKinnon, washed up bum. Like, I'd be saying shit to him like, yeah, come on over here. Let's deal with this.
No, you wouldn't. If you met Nathan McKinnon.
He would have to say something nice to me, and then I'd be nice to him. Actually, he'd probably find out about my diet, and he'd be like, he had white rice? And he'd like go berserk on me.
Fair enough. All right.
Okay, so you've been on Twitter a little bit since I've been gone, and from what I can imagine, the morale was not very high.
About what?
Over the last couple games. Like, they lost to Colorado, they lost to Arizona, they won against Vegas, which was really cool, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's what you would expect. I also haven't been on Twitter a ton, but, like, at this point, people are like, can you guys tank or just, like, be good? Because...
You make up your mind.
Yeah. Like, we'd love Bedard. I think most people are just like, okay, cool.
Unpopular opinion, but I would really like Connor Bedard to be on this roster.
Okay. That is unpopular. That's crazy, dude.
I think that would be kind of a good thing. In my opinion, having like one of those generational talents.
One NHL game.
Right, and we're gonna really get excited about a guy who's never even played an NHL game.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh my god, speaking of which.
What?
Former first overall pick Juraj Slafkovsky is out for 3 months.
I saw that. That's crazy.
He's had a shit season though, so like,
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like the last few first overall picks have had like garbage first seasons. Like Lafreniere, garbage. Jack Hughes had a garbage first season.
He's not having a great season this year either.
No, he's having an awesome season this year. Really, Jack Hughes.
Quinn. Sorry.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes is not having a good year.
They're so easy to mix. I learned that they're
There's
Jewish.
A million of them. They are.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! And they're from Michigan, I think.
Yeah, Canton.
Wow, isn't that something?
Just like Jake Wallman, also.
Rasmus Dahlin had a great first year. Who was drafted first overall? Yeah, a couple years ago, like 2018.
My brother knows like every single first overall pick, like ever.
He's like Amon-Ra St. Brown, where he's like Rasmus Dahlin, first overall.
Yeah, except my brother's just autistic. That's it. So he knows like all of them. He also can say every single year who won the Stanley Cup, and he can look at almost any player who has signed with Upper Deck, look at their autograph, and can identify.
Holy shit, that's a good talent.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Dude, he would be those card collecting communities. Is he the guy who runs the card collecting?
Yeah. He's like really big on there too. I don't know. He's like,
that's dope. Good for him.
Yeah.
You literally have like such an interesting family, because you have him who's big in the card community. You've got your sister who's like a very famous meme account.
She also has like a good like real job. She like just started doing VR like before it got big and worked for the New York Times.
And then we have you, who's a podcast host. Whatever. I think that's a bigger accomplishment. You are talented.
At being cute.
Yeah, my sisters are super geniuses, so like I've been in their shadows a little bit. Like, one is going to be the best elementary school teacher in the entire history of elementary school teachers.
Oh, and
the other one finished her undergrad in 3 years.
Hey, I did that too.
She's a pre-med major though, so she's like psychotic good.
Damn. That's why I was surprised they're younger than you. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the vibes with that, I bet are weird, but I bet you the vibes are good with Jake Wallman.
I love Jake Wallman. Another
Me
Jewish god.
too. I did not expect him to be this level of like productive. Honestly, like I'll be honest. I owe you an apology, Jake Wallman. I wasn't familiar with your game.
Let him cook, baby.
Let him cook. Because at first I was like, oh, whatever, like when the season started, I'm like, yeah, he's going to be an extra. He got injured, and now he's like
He's been
one
great.
of the best defensemen on the roster.
Yeah, him and Hronik.
Putting him with Seider was like the best decision that Derek Lalonde has made.
Have you seen like those? I think Prashant tweeted like a chart of Seider's efficiency since being on the line on the same pairing.
I have not,
Wallman.
but it doesn't back up our narrative.
It backs it up, baby.
That is good, and it's allowed. Prashant
right.
will probably be on the show soon, so we can ask him nerd questions and not nerd questions.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah, no, it's been just looking at both of their outputs and being paired together. It's like that we unlocked something, Like
I feel like
puzzle pieces put together.
I feel like Seider's gotten so much more confident too. Like I watched the Vegas game, and there was like you see points where like Wallman would shut down William Karlsson, who's like one of the best players on Vegas's roster, and he just had his number all night. Like he was following him around, just giving him a hard time, and he'd pass the puck over to Seider, who would just immediately set up like this killer play.
I love
it. He's in the zone right now, man. Keep them together. Sign Wallman to like a really cheap and long contract. It'll be good. It'll be good.
I can't remember the last time we had this strong of a D pairing. I don't know.
The Hronik Mata pairing was pretty damn good.
Okay, come on.
But like that's goes without saying.
This is like so much better than that pairing.
And now they've thrown Ali Mata with Ben Sherratt, which is
it's
something.
Like both of those guys couldn't be on the first pairing.
They're having a mid-off.
That's what it is.
But then they put Hronik they put Ali Mata with Jordan Osterley. I don't like Jordan Osterley.
I don't like him either, dude.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, nice guy.
Probably
good
a cool
Michigan
guy.
Boy.
But like just I don't see his spot on this roster.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I don't think doing anything for me.
I don't think Lindstrom's doing too much for me anymore either.
No, he isn't doing fucking shit.
Speaking of goose, we got to talk about something. I think they goosed the All-Star. And I think they're goosing they're goosing Dominic Kubalik's numbers right now. They've thrown him back on the first line. They've pushed Bergeron down to the fourth line, and that still hasn't stopped Bergeron from scoring.
Yeah.
But it's helping to get Kubalik some extra ice time, get him, goose his numbers a little bit. It's a circus term.
It's an old circus term.
It's an old circus term. So that during the trade deadline, he could fetch something nice because he's on a 60-point pace.
Well, they're going to deal him?
I think so. I think he's going to be a sexier acquisition, a girthier acquisition for a playoff team than like, I know the Blues are trying to ship Ryan O'Reilly. Yeah. Ryan O'Reilly's really good, and so is Vladimir Tarasenko, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
And they're old. Kubalik is in his prime.
Probably get more now.
You could throw, yeah.
We got him for nothing.
I think you could. I think he's still got a year on his deal. So, I mean, there's an extra year of flexibility. Huge draft pick potential here. There's maybe some prospects. And for any playoff team, they get a depth scorer who is going to be really good on the power play. A guy who could probably put up 30 goals in a season if you let him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's going to be on the top of that trade deadline list.
I still think Bertuzzi. I mean, it's kind of fucked now that he's injured again, but Bertuzzi, I don't know. I don't see him staying.
He said he wants to sign a longer deal, but I don't know either.
Where it at?
Run me.
What's up, dude?
And how much are you going to pay Bert? Like, I think he was great last season, and he's been great the season before, but he's hurt. The man keeps getting hurt. What do you do?
Like, who's going to sign that though?
Is it going to be like?
Who's always hurt.
I don't want to say it's going to be like, what's the name of the guy? Oh my God, Johan Franzen.
Oh, Franzen?
I don't want it to be like a Franzen deal where he just keeps getting hurt and he just can't play. I love Franzen.
But we don't have Babcock to bully.
No. Fuck Mike Babcock, by the way.
Yeah, fuck Mike Babcock.
If you're getting to the point where even like Henrik Zetterberg is like, okay, guys, this is a little much. Like,
dude, they showed during the Golden Knights game last night, they had Lidstrom on in the intermission, and we got some Z highlights. I was like tearing up. I was so happy to see those dudes.
He was so
Ugh,
like I think that people who didn't watch Detroit a lot don't really understand how good Henrik Zetterberg was.
it's
You
crazy.
you can look at his numbers and be like, oh yeah, whatever, he did this many points, whatever. But like, he was a lot more than the points. I mean, he was
Yeah.
in 2008. He was the catalyst towards winning that cup. Imagine a guy who could take peak Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and humiliate them every night.
Do you think 2008 was peak Malkin and Crosby?
That was
I
like
don't think
right
so.
when they were like,
I would say like 3 or 4 years later, but
yeah, well, you know,
actually
like
even 1 year later.
they were like exceptionally good at that time, though. I mean, that was this
Yeah,
is the NHL's
I'm not
golden
trying to
boys.
diss them or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, but like this is like it's like shutting down Michael Jordan, like the Bad Boys Pistons shutting down Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that was so fucking cool.
Oh my god, yeah, like that. It was that level of like, or like even the 04 Pistons shutting down Shaq and Kobe, like that. That's I think that's a better example
Yeah.
where the whole media is on the side of the Penguins, and then Zetterberg comes out and just makes them look like shit.
Do you think how much better do you think this team would be if we had Zetterberg?
Like prime Zetterberg, they're going to the playoffs
Wow.
easily. I don't know how they would be if it was like today's Zetterberg. Probably
No.
not good. But like,
But
like
even still, even today's Zetterberg couldn't hurt.
if we had today's Zetterberg and Datsuk, we would be an
I
immediate
don't want to
like
deal
contender.
with Datsuk.
I know you beef with him. I understand.
You
He's my problematic fave. Like, you know, it's like when people like Kevin Spacey. Like Kevin Spacey's a scumbag and a bad person.
Yeah.
But he still made good movies when he was
So
acting.
do you still listen to Kanye West and
No,
R. Kelly?
I don't. Definitely not. My sister has a hoodie that says, "Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots, girl? Let's come back with Rob." She'll wear
like
that, and then she has a hat that says, "I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look."
That's really good.
Funniest combo.
That is so good.
Anyway, back to some wing stuff. I think they goose the All-Star votes too because
That's not a wing stuff. That's like the
it's
lack of
hockey related. But like I looked at the All-Star like people they selected are so boring. Oh wow.
Of course.
Nate McKinnon again.
They
Oh, Mikko Rantanen.
I think it was 4 defensemen in the West and 1 in the East, or vice versa,
What the
something like
hell?
that. Dude, I don't know. Like the jerseys are cool. I'll give them that. The jerseys are really cool, but
I want to see who got added and take a look so I can go like mid.
I think
Cole Caulfield didn't make it. Tim Stützle didn't make it, or is it Stützle?
The second one was better.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm gonna learn German. Honestly,
okay,
I am.
do it.
If I'll take some basic classes, then we can try talking.
Some of my like German Red Wings fans have asked me to do an episode in German.
That would be pretty dope. Or like in parentheses DE. That's what it is for Deutsch, right?
Yeah.
Do you
Deutsch.
like? Oh wow, Austin Matthews made it again. Who would have ever guessed? Oh, Artemi Panarin and Adam Fox. Like,
what do you expect?
Why can't they have anything fun? Like,
I know.
What about John Scott? Remember the year they had John Scott?
Dude, we did a whole bit about it.
Like,
we talked extensively on this podcast about
it. I know. We tried to figure out who the John Scott was going to be, and we couldn't come to a consensus. Apparently, no one. It's going to be Leon Draisaitl now.
I wish.
No, he's in it, I think.
Yeah, I think he's in it.
Wow.
But he's not. What? You don't think he should be in there? You don't think he's?
No, I do. I think he's dope.
Yeah.
I think there should be a German invasion in the NHL All-Star game. Not a German. Don't get it twisted.
Not again.
Why does this keep happening?
Why does this keep happening?
Who's your all-time? Oh my God, what's the name of that? Is it Uwe Krupp? Is he German?
Yeah, he's German.
Okay, so your all-time, it'd be Uwe Krupp. It'd be Draisaitl, Mo Seider. I'm trying to think of like the best German players.
Danny Heatley was born in Germany.
Danny Heatley, 50 and 07.
50 and 07. He's a fucking all-star. Speaking of all-stars. Stützle. Yeah, there was another.
Best German.
Yeah, I was just about
it. Thomas Greiss.
Not Greiss.
Oh, some of these guys are kind of mid.
Yeah, a lot of them. Most of them are mid.
German players all-time stats.
Draisaitl is the best player all-time from Germany.
Christian Ehrhoff. Wow, I remember him.
Also
Dennis Seidenberg.
Marco Sturm.
Mm-hmm. Tobias Reeder. Wow. Some of these names, you ever like read those names from like the early to mid 2000s
Yes.
where you're like, oh, I remember him.
A lot of these guys. And then some of them, I'm like, oh yeah, Olaf Kurzich.
Mm-hmm. Who has the most fun name in the NHL?
Ivan.
I'm gonna say Greg McKegg. Greg McKegg is the
That's
frat star
real.
legend. Thor Bufflin. I think that's a pretty cool name.
Dustin Bufflin.
Dustin
they
Bufflin's
related?
brother, yeah. I think it's like his little brother. Let me think. I don't know. Tell us your funniest hockey name at 313 Hockey, please.
So low effort. Please. You're like, please. Just fucking. Doesn't even drop the email this time. Just fucking.
Speaking of low effort.
Yeah.
What Red Wing do you think would give the worst head? Current. And then give me your, if you have an all-time one.
Cop.
Andrew Kopp would give the worst head?
Cop would not give head. He'd be like, I don't do that.
I think I would say that about like...
And Sherratt.
I would say that... I think Ben Sherratt would. I don't know if he'd be good at it. I think he'd like go in with like his good looks and think he'd be good.
Oh.
And because he's so handsome, people be like, no, you were fine. You were fine.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I'd say Zadina because of the lack of effort. I feel like that's a given.
Oh yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I feel like Adam Ernie would not be good.
He has so many kids. He's got to be doing something.
Yeah, but
I feel like Rasmussen wouldn't be good.
He would R.I.P. that pussy. Like
yeah, but we were talking about giving head.
He would go feral hog on it. No,
he wouldn't.
No,
it'd be so vanilla and boring.
Are you done yet?
Exactly.
Was that good for
you? Yeah.
Who's given the best head?
Bert, but like messy.
Missing teeth.
Right.
It'll be sloppy. You're gonna get sloppy steak.
Ew. Who else? Maybe Razor. Even though he's like a kid, I don't know.
It kind of seemed Jake Wallman.
Oh my god, yeah. Jake
the beard.
Stop. Please stop right now. Please stop the words coming from your mouth.
You should tell everybody about. Oh yeah, Robbie Fab for Joe Veleno.
Yeah, all the Italian paralleled men.
The Italian adjacent.
Italian adjacent men.
That's it. You should tell everybody your Jake Wallman story.
What's my Jake Wallman story?
You know, you may have tried to speak to him.
Oh, I did try to speak to him via Instagram. I tweeted, Jake Wallman, check your Instagram DMs.
He hasn't replied yet.
He hasn't even opened it.
But when he does, yeah, he's been busy. You know, he's been on this road trip to Vegas.
Right. Like at night, you don't think he has time to like settle down and check his Instagram DMs?
He's not. Really he's texting a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed women. You up?
He hasn't opened it.
Before we close out, I'd like to go on a small rant.
Uh-oh.
Back in November, we did a jersey giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
For an Adam Ernie jersey. And up until last week, I had no idea what the hell happened to it. So I reached out to our contest winner, and he said the jersey never came. I reached out to the NHL shop, and they said, oh, yeah, we don't have an update. Sorry. And all I can imagine was that South Park, like, BP thing where the guy's touching his nips. He's like, oh, we're sorry.
Like, getting off to the fact that you haven't gotten your jersey.
And they were so incompetent. They're like, oh, we're going to escalate this ticket. And then I didn't hear back for another week. And I was like, this is obscene. Like, this is I spent $250 on getting this, jersey for this guy. And you didn't even, bother to give us an update. And they're like, oh, we can give you a refund on shipping. So don't worry, we got $5 back. $5 back, and I think the jersey finally shipped after I had to spend.
Order from Detroit. What's that
Vintage,
called?
Yeah. Vintage Detroit.
They're great. Vintage Detroit.
Let this be a lesson. Do not ever order from the NHL shop. Ever. Fanatics, especially. Don't ever get anything from Fanatics because all their shit's cheap and gross. And yeah, it was bad. Speaking of bad, I got a hoodie for Christmas. From a certain Detroit streetwear brand.
Sana. Which one did you get?
I got the MSU one. Because I literally said, I didn't care what I was going to get.
Oh, it's the surprise one?
Yeah. So, it's a pretty dope design. Yeah. It's pretty cool. But, the hoodie was assembled like shit. So,
really?
The little connector here on the sleeve was frayed already.
Did you tell them?
And they said, oh, we're sorry. We'll send you a free gift to make up for it. And I was like,
shit.
okay, cool. And
that's fucked up because their shit is expensive.
It's expensive. Let me show you the gift they sent me because you're going to be like, what the fuck?
I hope it's not the puzzle. That's fucked.
Here's my visual description for our listeners. A pair of white socks. White crew socks with a little tiny fire design on the heel. That's it. That's like, let this be another lesson. Don't buy hype beast clothing.
Okay, I love Sana, but I honestly want...
Their designs are so good.
The designs are great, but yeah, they can't be like doing that shit. That's fucked up.
Or cheap. You can't.
It's all about the hype, though, honestly. Like,
it is.
Like, I don't want to miss a drop. I don't get every single drop, obviously, especially not now, but I love their design, so it's... But
yeah, their designs are so good. It was really disappointing to have that happen, you know? Like, I don't...
Join their Discord server. I'm in their Discord. Sometimes you get more service in there.
That might be a good idea. So that's my mini Karen rant. That was not fun. And I don't like doing customer service stuff because then you have to deal with like waiting on a phone or sending a passive aggressive email, or that's not me. That's not my nature.
Right.
It can be if I choose to. That's my rant. Do you have anything else you want to cover before we get out of here?
That was a light rant.
I'm pretty subdued when it comes to like anger and things like that and frustration. I don't know, like things will get me mad and I'm like, it'll be like a horrible thing happens and I'm like, well, that's really upsetting. Like if today the wings got sold to like some cheap Saudi investors, I'd be like, oh man, that's not good. Consarn it.
Drats.
Well, wet my whistle.
Ew, that's not what that means.
Oh.
Gross. All right. I guess that's it.
I guess so. Is there anything that you're looking forward to in the next week or two? No?
No.
Should we start a concerted movement to, I don't know, crowdfund your rent?
Stop.
Look, here's a threat. The threat is that Maddie could be moving to Chicago.
I don't know.
And if you don't want Maddie to move to Chicago, you need to tweet #keep Maddie in Detroit. Keep Maddie in the D. Which one sounds better? Put the D in Maddie.
Love it. I mean, I'd like to stay here, but also I'd like to be near my family. I don't know yet. Everything's up in the air. It's a weird time.
Well, I think Detroit would sorely miss you.
And I would sorely miss it if I moved.
It would be nice if you could just like guilt your family into moving back.
Ain't gonna happen. I know.
Why does gaslighting only work when it's on me?
You know how many times I've asked you to move here?
I know. I need to figure that out. That's another thing.
That is another thing.
One thing after another.
Decision.
It's a girthy decision. This episode's just going to be called Girth. I've decided.
Good.
Well, we love you, Hockey Town. Hopefully you'll hear / see us soon. I plan on coming back to Detroit sometime. I don't know. March right now is the confirmed time, but
that's so far away.
I could come earlier. If you tweet #put the D in Jake, or get Jake to the D. How are you going to
see it?
Oh, that's true. Fuck.
What if they tweeted @313 hockey? Then you'll see it.
You can tweet @313 hockey. Sometimes I'll tweet like mean things on there. Oh, also, before I go, this just reminded me. I don't think I have ADHD. Definitely not. But
definitely not.
We're doing a giveaway.
Oh yeah.
And by the time this episode comes out, we will have announced a winner of a canvas print of the 2008 Stanley Cup win. What is it? It's a poster board. Wooden.
It's like heavy.
It's class.
It's good. It's wooden.
Mm-hmm. As far as the next giveaway goes, I have an autographed photo of Darren McCarty that we will be giving away. Maybe just giving away to Maddie. Yeah, we're pretty dope. You guys listen to us. I'm doing that thing where I'm depressed where I just start giving things away and get a couple people like concerned.
I just send ominous texts to my loved ones.
I like those too. Yeah, I've gotten a couple of those.
Oh no, I don't mean to. I realize once I'm in a better state later, I'm like, Maybe I shouldn't have sent that.
Yeah, do you ever like say something that you don't realize has like an implication behind it? You're like, I'm just so tired of everything, and then
I don't even want to be around anymore.
Yeah, I don't even want to be around anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Could you imagine?
We're so normal and not ill, and that's what makes this podcast special. We're not here to be serious.
Illest. We're here to be the illest.
All right, that's enough.
Mentally.
We love you. Bye, guys.